Hello everybody, my name is Askaroff and today we're going to show you about the clutch on your sewing machine. Quite often the clutch can lock. You normally release it when you're winding a bobbin so the whole machine's not turning, but some machines this gets a little bit sticky, and this is a perfect example, this Singer 201. Now normally when you this is 90% of all sewing machines, you will release the hand wheel or the balance wheel, same thing. You will, by turning this little knob here, usually about a quarter of a turn, and then you will put your foot down and the whole machine will stop turning. But as you can see with this one, the machine is turning as well, even though it's been released. And so what we're going to do is show you how to clean this out, remove it and put it back on. And it is pretty straightforward. There's a few steps you have to follow. The first thing is, it is a knackered old thing with, they've put insulating tape and then they've tied it up with thread. I love it. They've put a little bit of thread around there as well. A proper bodge job. That all has to be sorted out. So the first thing is to make sure that your belt is not too tight. If you have a motor, not a hand machine, and it's not releasing, it could be because your belt is too tight. It's a very simple adjustment, and you get your screwdriver or your spanner and you undo the mounting bolt there and you lift the motor. Come on baby, you lift it up and you make it just tight enough so that it turns the machine. That's slipping a bit, so we just drop that down a bit. Hang on, let me just put my glasses on and we'll see. So now that's turning. Oh, and it's still turning. Okay, so it doesn't matter how tight the belt is, it's still going to turn. So we're going to take the belt off now. We're going to lift the motor up. If you've got a rubber stretchy belt, they just come straight off, are really easy, and we get that out of the way. So now I'm just going to go around the other side of you and show you what we're doing. We're going to undo this little screw that the middle of the thumb nut has, and we're going to take it out. Okay, now don't lose these screws because they're pretty hard to get hold of. They're a funny little shape. And then we're going to take this off. Now, when you take this off, behind this is another washer. Now, sometimes that has 2 prongs and sometimes that has 3 prongs. Baninas have 2. And that is also, I don't know if you can just see those raised bits. Now, oh, it's magnetic. They're raised, and if I turn it over that side, they're indented down. Okay, now that's important later. And now this will just slip off. And what we're going to do is clean all the gunge off. The gunge is all this sticky old oil that's become more like grease here. You can see it all in there. Look, you can see all that muck in there. We've got to get rid of all of that and take a bit of time. I'm only doing this really quickly just to show you for the video. But clean that all on. You can spray a little bit of WD-40, GT85. I mean, I've heard some people use brake cleaner. There's all sorts of things that will get the grease off, and you want to make that nice and clean. And the same for this here, and then just clean that all off there so we've got a nice surface, especially the back plate there, because surprisingly enough that can stick and we want that to run as free as possible. Let's just show you quickly, and then we'll put that back on. And before we put it back on, a little drop, just a drop. It's my old faff oil bottle. Good old treasure. Just a little drop, not too much. You can just wipe off any excess. Then put that back on there. If you've got a stretchy belt, it doesn't matter, but if you've got a hard belt that doesn't stretch, then you need to put that belt back on first. Yeah, now that's starting to spin. Now comes the trick with this. I tend to turn this so that little button is at the top. So there's 3 buttons there. Now, believe it or not, there is 4 different ways that this washer can go on, and it seems so simple, but if you don't put it on the right way, and I never put it on the right way first time, it won't work properly. So now we're going to tighten this back on, and we need to look where the little screw stops. So this is a bit of trial and error, and we're going to get in there, darling, tighten this up and see. Here it goes. Oh, don't want to cross thread it, just take your time with this, screw it right in, don't need to pinch it up tight, and you want that to release about 1/4 of a turn. Now if that doesn't release 1/4 of a turn till it hits that little button, then you need to take it off and you need to just take this off, and you need to just turn that round one more and try it that side. And if it keeps falling off, you can just lift the machine up while you're doing it to hold it on, put it back on, even stand it on its end sometimes. I'm going to tighten that up again. See that doesn't release 1/4 of a turn. So eventually you'll get it right. The worst it can be is 4 goes. So now you can turn it round that way round and try it that way round. So you'll keep doing this until you've got it just about right, and you can release it 1/4 of a turn, and then it's fiddly, but you will get it. And it's good that it goes wrong with me as well, so you know it will go wrong with everybody. I've been doing it for 4 million years and it still doesn't work perfectly for me. So there we go, that feels good. Now we're going to get the motor, put that on, tighten that up. Not too tight, that's a little bit too tight. You want it just tight enough so that it turns the machine but has a little bit of slip in it. Right, now let's tighten that up. Let's see if we've done it. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So now that releases beautifully. You'll turn that hardly 1/4 of a turn. Whole machine turns, undo it where it stops. Perfect. So that has been a perfect success. And now you can wind your bobbin without your machine turning. Don't forget my latest book, The Singer 2R1, The Perfect Stitch. It is absolutely crammed with millions of pages of fantastic things, loads of hints and tips, all about the Singer 201. But this tip will work on most sewing machines. Bye for now.